please be seated. President Dennis Deese, Mr. Tim Marks, members of our Law School Board of Governors, faculty, administrative leaders, and staff of the University and School of Law, graduates of the class of 2012, and honored guests, welcome to you all. Today is a day of joy, a day to celebrate. We honor and congratulate our 9th class of students, and we celebrate your graduation. And this is a day to celebrate. What brings us all together is our great pride that you have advanced along your path and completed the first step to lead professional lives of significance and purpose. This should also be a day of prayerful gratitude. Thanks to God, especially in these uncertain times, for the gifts of your many talents, for all that you have achieved during these 3 years, and for the excellent education you have received. Gratitude for the lifelong friendships you have formed here. Gratitude for our law school mission and how you have integrated it into your daily and professional lives. And most important, thanks to God for the family and friends who have supported you. Well, that deserves a clap, right? You're the class of 2012, who, along with our first 8 classes, chose St. Thomas because you understood that this law school would provide you with a different kind of education, a different kind of experience, and that you were joining an exceptional community of faith, formation, and service. We are grateful for the confidence that you showed us 3 years ago. I also want you to know that we are grateful for the many ways in which you have helped build this law school, shaped the nature of our community, and advanced our faithful mission. As your dean, and on behalf of our faculty and staff, our trustees and board of governors, on behalf of our president, I extend our thanks and blessings. God bless you. Let me begin this celebration by introducing our platform party to you. On my left and closest to me is Tim Marks, Chief Executive Officer of Catholic Charities of St. Paul and Minneapolis. Mr. Marks is our keynote speaker. Next to Mr. Marks is Father Dennis Deese, President of our university. Father Deese will be conferring the Juris Doctor degrees. Next to Father Deese is Dr. Susan Huber, Executive Vice President and Chief Academic Officer. Next to Dr. Huber is Michael Dolphin, a member of the class of 2012. You need to know this, and their speaker. And finally, next to Michael Dolphin is Father Daniel Griffith, one of our faculty fellows and a priest of this archdiocese. Please join me in welcoming this distinguished group to our graduation ceremony. I now invite Father Griffith to deliver the invocation.
Good and gracious God, we bless and praise your holy name. For you, O Lord, are the source of all that is good and holy. Out of nothing you fashioned the beauty of creation and ordered it according to your divine wisdom. We stand before you today with hearts full of gratitude. Gratitude for the many gifts you have given us and for your providential care. Today, in a special way, we thank you for the gifts of wisdom and truth and the gift of law. Bless these graduates today and throughout their lives as they seek to serve you and their neighbor. Help them to be good stewards of the gift of law so that they may generously serve those around them, especially the poor and marginalized. Send your guiding spirit upon them, the spirit of wisdom and courage. Help them integrate into their lives faith and reason as they pursue truth that comes from you. Help them live virtuous and holy lives that give glory to your name, O God. Cultivate their hearts so that they may be humble and loving servants, and cultivate their minds so that they may discern your wisdom and act with prudence. May they bear much fruit through their work in this noble profession, and may they help direct the law to its proper ends, justice and peace. We make our humble prayer through your holy and powerful name. Amen.
Thank you, Father Dan. Before we proceed to our first speaker, let me call your attention to our commencement program. Each of you should be able to find your very favorite member of the class of 2012 listed in the program alphabetically with their prior undergraduate and any master's graduate level degrees they have. This class, the class of 2012, carried forward the momentum, without question, of our first 8 classes. This class continued the important role of student government and the more than 30 student organizations. This class contributed to the diversity of our community by sponsoring a variety of multicultural events. Members of this class hosted speakers and conferences. The class of 2012 lived our distinctive mission of faith, community, and service in so many ways. You put on fundraisers for worthy causes. You shared class notes with colleagues who were sick or home caring for loved ones. You excelled both inside and outside the classroom. The class of 2012, all of the fine men and women you see in front of me and to my left, helped us maintain our vital tradition, an embracing charism and community that distinguishes it, I can say this pridefully, from every other law school in the country. I won't take time to mention all of the many ways in which the class has helped us, but let me take a moment to call your attention to several students who deserve special recognition, and they are so noted in the commencement program. In your program, if you just go one page past the staple, so just a little bit past the halfway point, we list and recognize those students who are likely to achieve high academic honors, the just reward for 3 years of exceptional academic performance, hard work, and achievement. If you then turn to the next page, the heading is Public Service Hours. We list the 37 students who have logged at least 100 hours of service to our community, and several, as you can see, who dedicated literally hundreds of hours to public service during their 3 years here. As most of you know, this law school is distinctive in requiring its students to dedicate a certain number of hours, 50 hours, to community service. Very few, less than a quarter of all law schools have such a requirement, so it's certainly an important part of who we are and our mission. The 37 graduates who have performed more than 100 hours of service have gone, as you know, way above and beyond our vision that we are all asked by God to serve others, particularly those who are most in need of our care. On the next page, actually the adjoining page, titled Minnesota Justice Foundation Service Hours, we list the 45 graduates who have volunteered more than 50 law-related hours under the auspices of a nonprofit in Minnesota Justice Foundation. Together, the class of 2012, if you do the math, has literally performed thousands of hours of service outside the walls of the law building to this community. Congratulations, and on behalf of all that you have served, I really extend our thanks. You're launching your careers with really the right spirit. Finally, if you turn to the next page of the program, we highlight those students under the title Mission Awards. We have annual Mission Awards. We highlight those students whose contributions to our distinctive mission have been so excellent that we presented them at some point over the past 3 years with our so-called Mission Awards. These 18 students have embodied our mission as a Catholic law school to integrate faith and reason in the search for truth through a focus on morality and social justice. Please join me in congratulating all these fine individuals. At this point, I would like to make a special presentation. Can I ask, is the photographer here? Right here? Okay, thank you. Today we also honor a former student, one of the dear members of our family, Elisa Hoots, class of 2008. Elisa was in a tragic motor vehicle accident in December 2007, just one semester before she would have graduated from our law school. The accident claimed 2 lives and placed Elisa on a courageous journey to overcome traumatic brain injury, neck and skull fractures, broken ribs, a collapsed lung, and a tear in her spleen. Elisa emerged from a drug-induced coma in summer 2008, and she works hard every day with great spirit to improve both her physical and cognitive conditions. We are privileged to call Elisa Hoots one of our family and to honor her as the first recipient of the Fortitudo Invicta Medal. Fortitudo Invicta means unvanquished or unconquered courage. And the inscription, this medal that I'm holding will ultimately be framed. The inscription beside the medal states, "Your courage inspires all who know you to shoulder our own burdens with tenacity and gentle peace." Elisa, I am delighted to present to you the School of Law's Fortitudo Invicta Medal. I would next like to take a moment to thank the class of 2012 for one more important contribution. Like the previous 8 classes, this class followed the precedents of their predecessors and has presented the School of Law with a class gift. More than 90% of the class have contributed. Like the first 8 classes, they have stepped forward and generously presented this law school with not one, but multiple gifts. First, a public interest summer fellowship, which will go to one of our law students next summer who work on behalf of the poor and the needy. Second, a permanent plaque commemorating the recipients going forward who receive these honors, these internships, as well as those who have been honored in the past with a public interest fellowship. And third, like prior classes, a tangible gift, something that we can look at, hold. This time it's something to sit on. This graduating class is purchasing a picnic table, and in the courtyard, which you'll all see when you come to the reception in front of the law building, the few days or weeks when it's warm enough and nice enough to actually sit outside in Minnesota. But thank you for, I also want to thank especially Selena Tumini and Robert Lincoln, the 3L student government representatives, who led the successful fundraising for the class of 2012 gifts. Thank you, Selena and Robert, and thank all of you for these gifts. We're very grateful. I'm now pleased to introduce Michael Dolphin. The members of the class of 2012 selected Michael to address our graduation ceremony on their behalf, and a wise choice you've made. We're proud to be graduating men and women with Michael's many talents and, of course, his integrity and character. Michael Dolphin received his undergraduate degree from Loras College in history in 2007. During his time here at the law school, Michael has served as senior editor of the Journal of Law and Public Policy, and he's been a member of the school's trial advocacy team. Michael was our trial team's top overall advocate. As you can see, Michael served the law school in many visible ways. He's also served our country as a United States Marine between 2003 and 2011. Attaining the rank of sergeant and as a squad leader, Michael Dolphin has successfully completed two tours of duty in Iraq, in 2005 to 2006, and then again in 2009, which interrupted his first-year law school studies for one academic year. Please join me in thanking Michael Dolphin for his dedicated service to our country. And now, class of 2012, give a rousing salute to your speaker, Michael Dolphin.
I'm humbled. Thank you, Dean. A number of years ago, I wrote in a personal statement that I submitted to this law school that because of the ethical challenges and complexity in the law, the world doesn't need just another lawyer. What the world, what our country, what our state, and what this community needs is another good lawyer. Now, any law student can tell you that there are many different ways to interpret even one term. For our family and friends, it was these conversations over interpretation which likely caused you to rotate your chair and look anxiously for anyone to change the subject. And although it can be dangerous to declare consensus for over 150 law students, and now Juris Doctorates, I can say with great confidence that after our training here at the University of St. Thomas School of Law, my colleagues would agree that the good lawyers are not just the technically proficient or the morally sound, they are the leaders in their profession. Yes, the good lawyer is a leader of lawyers. And to our president, to our trustees, to the Board of Governors, our distinguished faculty and administration, our families, and our friends, it is my privilege to represent the graduating class of 2012. These are the men and women who are going to embrace the challenge of becoming that much-needed good lawyer. Now, I'm sure a few of my colleagues are probably wondering to themselves at this particular point, what did Dolphin just sign us up for? And more importantly, do we have to listen to him? Allow me to test my skills in persuasion, see if I can convince you that becoming a leader of lawyers is a worthy and tenable goal, and it's a goal for which you've been preparing these last years. To be a leader of lawyers, one must have the desire to serve others. Now, we came to St. Thomas with a desire to serve, and this was cultivated through lessons learned in the classroom and beyond the walls of the law school. One of the truths we were able to discern through a focus on morality and social justice is that many people require access to the law, and it's our job to find ways to satisfy that requirement. We have learned about the aspirational goals of the profession regarding professional conduct and service, but what sets you apart is your ability to transform what is aspirational into the foundation upon which you will build your personal and professional lives. You are ready to serve. To be a leader of lawyers, you must be courageous. Through countless case studies and symposia over the last years, we have seen instances on both the international and domestic stages where the courage of even one person in our profession can make all the difference. Now, we revere these individuals because we know that the courageous thing is often the most difficult thing to do. But our education has been all about making the right decision when things are tough. We've been surrounded by courageous personalities. And I'm humbled by the presence of Elisa today. and her drive to still continue to live the mission of this law school. That is courage. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention on the decade celebration of this law school the courage demonstrated by our dean, Thomas Mengler. Dean Mengler, you've been a shining example of what can be accomplished when a leader finds his strength through empowering those around him. That is courageous. To be a leader, you must know how to be a part of the team. The law school has a stigma of being an individual exercise, but that hasn't been my experience here at St. Thomas. In fact, over these last years, I have found it to be quite the opposite. I wouldn't be standing here before you unless I had the uplifting support of the culture that surrounds the students and faculty at St. Thomas. It was the tireless efforts of our professors, the bonds forged between classmates, and the love and support of our families and friends which brought us to this point. Don't forget this team as you move beyond the walls of this venue today. I can assure you, you'll need them again, and they will need you. Now, beyond the doors of this venue, we are entering a climate which is, in no uncertain terms, going to be challenging. And it may seem difficult to diligently and consistently find the motivation to serve, to be courageous, to remember your teammates. But if I might be so bold as to offer some advice I received during my last deployment to Iraq, a wise individual once told me, find comfort in the chaos, meaning that when life is at its most difficult moment, when we find ourselves feeling the most unsure, that is the precise time for true leadership to emerge. So, my fellow graduates, my colleagues, my friends, I look forward to seeing what you'll do as leaders of lawyers. It's what I expect of you. It's what you should expect of me. And I know in my heart that neither of us will be disappointed. Thank you.
That was unbelievable, Michael. I wouldn't want to be our next speaker. I have confidence in your courage, Tim. It is now my great honor to introduce a fabulous speaker, our keynote speaker, Tim Marks, and to present him with an award. Tim, would you please join me at the podium? This is actually, I talked about the frame, actually it's a wooden frame, and this is where Elisa Hoot's medallion will also be set in the box here. I guess I was the next speaker following Michael Dolphin. I'm taking a little, it's good to take a little heat, right, absorb the blows. So now you have a clear path. Exactly right. It's a real pleasure to be able to introduce a person, an attorney of such distinction and achievement. It's fair to say that Tim Marks' professional experience is so impressive that if we could borrow his many accomplishments and then cut and paste them on our resumes, now you would never do that, right? But several of us would have very impressive resumes. Tim Marks, since 2011, has been serving, as I mentioned earlier, as Chief Executive Officer, CEO of Catholic Charities of St. Paul in Minneapolis. Catholic Charities, as many of you know, is one of the largest service providers in the Twin Cities, serving 35,000 people in need annually. Tim oversees an agency that has an annual operating budget of $39 million, 535 employees, 20,000 benefactors, and 10,000 volunteers. Tim's career prior to serving as CEO of Catholic Charities is a record both of excellence and of service to society's most vulnerable. Tim received his bachelor's degree, magna cum laude, from St. John's University in 1979, and I just want to point out how open-minded we are to be celebrating a Johnny. Just an aside, Tim, and maybe it was a negotiation tactic, he has a purple tie on today, not a red tie. And he holds 2 degrees from the University of Minnesota, a law degree and a Master's of Public Affairs from the Humphrey Institute. Tim has served as St. Paul's city attorney and as deputy mayor and chief of staff to the mayor of St. Paul earlier in his career. He followed that service with several years in private practice as a partner at the major law firm of Briggs & Morgan. Tim's service to those who are most in need has been long and impressive. Between 2003 and 2008, he served as CEO and commissioner to the Minnesota Housing Agency, Minnesota's affordable housing financial institution, which invests over $800 million annually in affordable housing. Between 2008 and 2011, Tim served as executive director of New York City's Common Ground community, which has over 300 employees and an annual operating budget of $50 million dedicated to providing supportive housing to formerly homeless and special needs populations of the Big Apple. We're honored that Tim Marks has agreed to speak to us today, and we'd like to thank him for his service to our communities, to the state, actually beyond the state, by presenting him with our Justitia et Lex Award, a Latin which means justice and law. The Justitia et Lex Award is the highest recognition of our law school that our law school confers to a member of our local community who embodies our law school mission of integrating faith and values into the recipient's professional identity. In presenting this award to you, Tim, I will read the inscription. Presented to Tim Marks, as head of Minnesota's State Housing Agency, New York City's Common Ground community, and Catholic Charities, you have served the poor, the homeless, and those most in need of our loving care. May 12, 2012. Now, please join me in welcoming Tim Marks to the podium.
Wow. President Deese, Dean Mangler, faculty, family, and friends, and most of all, to Michael Dolphin and the class of 2012, thank you for the privilege of allowing me to share this day with you. I am so honored. Class, all of us are here to honor you for your hard work, your perseverance, your contributions, that your experience here will allow you to make to your families, your profession, your community, and as it means so much to you, to your faith. Congratulations so much. As honored as I am to be here, I am also humbled, and for good reason. I have had 5 commencement speeches delivered to me of a class of which I've been a part and heard at least a score of others, and have vivid memories of only one, my only law school graduation nearly 30 years ago. And my memories aren't of inspirational words, but of insufferable length and pretentiousness. So at minimum, I have a goal today of being forgotten rather than misbegotten, or as in the oath of another profession, to do no harm. But since, in the words of Robert Browning, a man's reach should exceed his grasp, permit me to find a way, at least into some portion of the temporal lobes of your long-term memories, with a commitment that my effort to do so will seek to have me stop speaking before most of you stop listening. Let me offer 3 observations and questions for your consideration. And I fully admit that my questions will be leading questions, and I'll even suggest some responses. But I'll ask you to hold any objections to the reception following this ceremony, where we'll let Dean Mengler wield the gavel. For objections sustained, I will eat my words. For those overruled, some extra work on the rule against perpetuities or the intricacies of Section 1031 exchanges may be in order. Observation and question 1. You are now among the privileged few. How will this change what you do? Now, I expect all of you may not feel so advantaged as you confront a still constrained legal job market, some student debt, and the rigors of an upcoming bar examination. But consider a different perspective. Of the world's 7 billion people, almost 1.3 billion, nearly 20%, live on less than $1.25 a day. In 2010, over 46 million Americans lived in poverty, the largest number in the last 52 years. In Minnesota, the poverty rate has nearly doubled. This is 600,000 people, 180,000 children, including a quarter of the residents in Minneapolis and St. Paul, and a third of the children. Imagine today trying to raise a family of 4 on $23,000. Now, 1 in 3 adult Americans have a bachelor's degree, and just over 1 in 10 have an advanced degree. This now includes you. The chances of someone with your education living in poverty are very low, about 3%, and your earning potential is very high. You'll have to work hard, but your God-given gifts and your education offer you the opportunity and the likelihood of a standard of living of which the vast majority of the people in the world and in this country will be envious. I hope this makes you feel grateful, not only for your privileges and opportunities, but also for the inevitable challenges and struggles you will confront. Now, many consider to give back when they have made it, but through your accomplishment of being here today, you have already made it. So don't wait. I know many of you won't. Give back. Start now. Observation and question 2. You have now succeeded at a uniquely Catholic institution that embraces Catholic thought and teachings, as well as those of other faith traditions. What renditions of these traditions will be reflected in your professional work and your personal contributions to the broader community? Integral to these traditions and social thought are our Catholic social teachings, which have basis both in Scripture and papal encyclicals. Isaiah offers the following: justice will bring about peace, right will produce calm and security. Pope John the 23rd in 1963 described the rights that will bring calm and security. Every person has the right to life, to bodily integrity, and to the means which are suitable for the proper development of life. Those are primarily food, clothing, shelter, rest, and medical care. Pope Benedict in 2009 discussed how these rights will be secured. Besides the good of the individual, there is a good that is linked to living in society, the common good. It is a good that is sought not for its own sake, but for the people who belong to the social community and who can only really and effectively pursue their good within it. To desire the common good and strive towards it is a requirement of justice and charity. And as we seek the common good, Pope John Paul II reminds us that deep in our tradition is the community within the Church of the preferential option for the poor, an option which I define as a special form of primacy in the exercise of Christian charity. Justice, peace, human rights, pursuit of the common good with a preference for the poor are among the fundamental building blocks of Catholic social teaching, all of which work together to promote and defend the fundamental human dignity of each human person. Now, what does all this theology mean to you as new attorneys? I'm getting to that. First, permit me to provide you one more tidbit of history. Catholic Charities of St. Paul in Minneapolis which I have the privilege to help lead, is part of a National Catholic Charities USA network. The first meeting of this network was held in 1910, at which all of us were charged to act as the attorney for the poor in modern society, to present their point of view and defend them unto the days when social justice may secure to them their rights. Again, we are charged to act as the attorney for the poor in modern society, to present their point of view and defend them unto the days when their social justice may secure to them their rights. Class of 2012, I invite you to officially join me in the law firm of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and become in some part of your personal and professional life an attorney for the poor. You'll receive no retainer. The hourly rate is miserly, but you'll become a partner right away, and I hear the retirement plan may be heavenly. And you are needed. You are needed. We are leaving too many people behind. The Twin Cities Catholic Charities is the largest region-wide social service agency. We serve 35,000 of those most in need each year, and we reach only about 15% in this region who experience poverty. Too many people are being forced to choose. Do I buy medicine or pay rent? Buy food or pay for childcare? Pay wages for a taxi to get to work when there are no buses, or risk losing my job? We know that for every child in North Minneapolis who we help reach kindergarten ready to learn, there are many more who are unprepared, don't read by third grade, don't graduate high school on time, don't get a job, and end up in our shelters and jails. For everyone who we help find a job and a home after being on the streets, there are many others who have done everything right, but are laid off, denied benefits, deplete their retirement, and wonder, where can I go? Now, what can you do? There are many opportunities regardless of what you do for a paycheck. Find something that is both authentic to you and stretches you to better understand those parts of the community in our world that are often hidden to us. Your legal skills are needed in pro bono work for immigrants who need documentation, for veterans denied benefits to which they are entitled. Your human touch is needed to serve meals, to reach kids, and to simply greet people who you see on the streets, not with a handout, but with a warm smile or greeting, so that you communicate that they matter too, and that all of us are part of one human family. Now, your broader advocacy skills and your active citizenship are needed so that our economy, our politics, and yes, our laws are based on that preferential option for the poor that is integral to our Catholic social teaching. As you confront broken systems in your work, be an advocate for repair. When you witness oppression and barriers that hold people back, help break them down. This is not partisan or ideological, it is practical. The bottom line is this: if what we are doing is not working to better the least fortunate among us, there must be change. There is more than a preponderance. There is more than clear and convincing. There is evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that what we are doing is not working. There must be change, and I ask you to be a part of that change. Okay, I just served a heavy pleading on you. As an attorney for the poor, I have a professional obligation, though, to represent my client zealously. But I hope you will agree that I did not cross the line and violate Rule 11 for improper or harassing pleadings. Which brings me to my third and final observation and question. You and all of us have been witness to hubris, rigidity, and vitriol in our profession and public discourse. Can you help model humility and restraint to put us on a better course? I read in Friday's paper that one attorney accused another of bullying. I recall a judicial colleague expressing frustration when he had to order one attorney to call another to discuss a settlement. And I think in our public discourse, there is too much menacing mendacity that often substitutes for careful analysis and an appreciation for nuance. Some view an election certificate as an opportunity or a coronation of infallibility rather than an opportunity to be one voice among many who seek the common good with a willingness to compromise on solutions while not sacrificing principle. I caution that you avoid the trap of hubris and victory at all costs. Your victories will be Pyrrhic, and you will diminish yourself, our profession, and larger society's ability to achieve the common good by reaching common ground. How do I sum this up? Gratitude, putting your faith in action on behalf of the poor, and humility. All things worth remembering, I submit, but if in 30 years you do not remember me or what I have said, I won't feel bad. I have every confidence that some version of this or a similar message is already a part of who you are and how you will live and work. And I will always remember you, the University of St. Thomas Law School, and the honor that you have bestowed upon me, and the class of 2012 for the future potential that you offer for yourselves, your family, and the community. Godspeed.
Thank you, Tim, for those wonderful remarks and for your courage in leading this community by heading such an important organization that serves so many thousands of people, Catholic Charities. It's customary that at this point of our celebration, we call to the podium our faculty member who this class has selected as your Professor of the Year to introduce him to you all. So I now call to my side the class of 2012's Professor of the Year, Scott Swanson. Not much more to add to that, but let me say a few things. Scott Swanson arguably has had more contact, and very positive contact, as you can tell, with the class of 2012 than any other teacher in the law school. As Director of Academic Excellence, Scott teaches a volunteer week-long orientation class right at the upfront, right before the first few days of law school. It hasn't even begun. And virtually, you all signed up for it, as I recall. He works one-on-one with students throughout their 3 years of law school, and he teaches in his spare time courses in criminal procedure and bar exam preparation, including in the summer run-up, which I'm sure many of you are going to take part of, to the bar exam, what Scott calls Scott Bar. One of our finest teachers, a person who cares deeply about students. I'm not going to ask you to give him a rousing cheer again, but thank you, Scott, for all that you do. And now I'm going to ask you to head over in that direction. So it's because now it's time for the moment you've been waiting for. So let's now proceed with the hooding ceremony. Associate Dean Rob Vischer, who's resplendent in red, I'm pretty envious of him, will be calling out and pronouncing correctly, he hopes, the graduates' names. Scott Swanson will be hooding each graduate, and I will be giving you a hearty handshake, and then, see these boxes over here, I'm going to give you a little gift, and I'm going to pose you for the photographer right there. So don't run off. We're going to have a picture moment. Let me also note that we have, as I mentioned, retained a photographer. So please, there'll be plenty of time for photographs. I know you've taken some before, and you'll have plenty to take after, and you might be able to catch some as your favorite person comes through. But please don't come to the front because it's going to hinder our graduates moving in and out of the row. So I guess now we begin.
Meredex Abraham. Kelly Anderson. Haley Astrup. Stephen Astrup. Jacqueline Bailey. William Baker. Elissa Diane Banwell. Scott Bauer. Gina Lorraine Beckman. Subia Fahim Beg. Brittany Marie Bessler. Colleen Kelly Beaver. Michael Stephen Beaver. Matthew William Bolin. Joseph Bohr. Andrew Bote. Mary Angela Brainerd. Justin Brolick. Sarah Broughton. Matthew Brown. Robin K. Brown. Scott Buell. Benjamin Gordon Burwell. Alexandra Michelle Campion. Robert Capel. David James Carrier. Allison Carter. Charlene Colburn. Cheryl Ann Comp. Caitlin Shanley Lacoombs. Charles Crane. John Daly. Ruth Noel Dapper. Mark Raymond Davis. Michael Dolphin. Elizabeth Rose Duell. Ben Everett. Amanda Nicole Finolio. Lindsay K. Fishbach. John Foss. Carmianne Foster. Devin Lynn Freeman. Kensuke Fukuchi. Stephanie Graham Gatto. Nathan Gallus. Jill Sabrina Go. James Gould. Krista Jane Nordquist Griffith. Abigail Hahn. Tomo Hara. Blake Hatling. Thomas David Havey. Jenny Helling. Ashley Christine Hellstrom. Andrew Thomas Hoyman. Margaret Merwin. Mackenzie Hopkins. Claire Voss. Thank you. Bethia Dionis Hyatt. Jeremiah Icarella. Ifoma Ikeme. Atong Eke Jack. Marcus Jones. Tessidra Jones. George Joyer. Jennifer Johanna Kaluzny. Marit Elizabeth Karbowski. Nick Carls. Emily Kerr. Oliver Moody Kiefer. Megan Kiefer. Shauna Joy Klatt. Aaron Knoll. Dylan Knoll. Timothy Kester. Jared Kostner. Whitney Ann Krogman. William Coons. Natalia Anna Kushner. Dimitri Lametti. Jeremy Lampman. Michael LaRusso. Ann Labita. Colin Light. Robert Winslow Lincoln III. Catherine Lau. Nancy Lee. Abigail C. Maruish. Stephen McHale. Thomas McHale. Matthew McMullen. Michael Marabella. Carly Miller. Michelle Morton. Amanda Mortwet. Michael Nadimi. Juno Niagam. Jonathan Nelson. Eric Omdahl. Joseph Orino. Allison Ovenden. Patrick Oxley. Sean Parks. Benjamin Bruce Peterson. Eric Peterson. Lee Peterson. Sean Peterson. Hip Pham. Gregory Pittman. Catherine Polking. T. James Power. Jason Rather. Andrea Reynolds. Congratulations. Kathleen Marie Rialt. Kelly Ray Riley. Celestial Roman. Jacqueline Ruby. Erica Sanft. Jesse Sater. Jacob Michael Softly. Kevin Shakel. Andrew Schmidt. Timothy James Scott. Courtney Sekovich. Amelia Selvig. Emily Simo. Lindsay Nye Sharp. Catherine Short. Catherine will be hooded by her father, Brian Short, a member of the law school's Board of Governors. Daniel Stewart Shub. Kira Simiano. Jordan Laris Singh. Robert Singleton. Michael Smet. John Speeton. Mark Andrew Spooner. Philip Thomas Stammen. Ben Stein. Robert Stelter. Megan K. Stowers. Kaylin Sudik. Melissa Renee Taylor. Took Took. Beth Teets. Allison Toftyland. Claire Leifke Trolley. Timothy Tripp. Selena Bridget Tumini. Congratulations. Scott von Klumpenberg. Jacqueline Van Moore. Timothy Vogel. Jake Wallenius. Brian Walsh. Kristen Walter. Victoria Wanta. Ryan Wensman. Catherine Ann Wertheim. Aaron Westbrook. Greg Willick. Jonathan Raymond Wise. Kristen Lynn Yonke. Congratulations. Curtis Young. And Joseph Zavatsky.
Please be seated. I now invite to the podium the President of the University of St. Thomas, Father Dennis Deese, who will formally confer the degree of Juris Doctor on our graduates. Father?
Thank you, Dean. I simply want to add my congratulations to the class of 2012 and state that these first 11 years of the School of Law have been a great source of pride for the University of St. Thomas. The outstanding work of its faculty, led by its distinguished dean, have combined to create an excellent program here. We're also most proud of you, our 9th class, and our newest graduates. I personally look forward to hearing of your achievements in the years ahead, both as outstanding legal professionals and as leaders in our community. And I particularly want to thank Mr. Marks for what I thought was one of the most inspiring commencement speeches I've heard in my years at St. Thomas. And God bless you for your work at Catholic Charities Center. And I also want to thank Mr. Dolphin for what I consider to be truly one of the most outstanding graduating student speeches in my years at St. Thomas, both on the same day. Thank you. Would the candidates for the degree Juris Doctor please rise? Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I, Dennis Deese, President of the University of St. Thomas, confer upon you the Juris Doctor Award, the Juris Doctor degree from the University of St. Thomas with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Thank you, Father. Thank you for being such a source of inspiration for all these years of our law school. And we are very grateful to you. Of course, there are other people we've been appropriately congratulating and recognizing, maybe regulating soon, recognizing our sometimes the words are almost there. But now it's time to thank some other people. Each of the members of this class have parents, you have spouses, children, loved ones, friends, other family members who have been really supportive of you over the last 3 years. So I guess I would just ask you to rise, and they're all around you. Thank you. Thank them. Please be seated. 3 more brief announcements. First, I invite you all to a reception in Schultz Grand Atrium of our law building, which is just 3 blocks away on 11th Street. Many of you walk through there on the way here, and many of you have been there before. This group can help you along the way if you get lost. A very easy walk. Second, for those who might have just some difficulty navigating the 3 blocks, we have a bus parked in front of Orchestra Hall. The bus is not accessible for wheelchairs, but for those who would benefit from a little ride, rather than a walk, please, I encourage you we offer this service, and I encourage you to ride the bus. Finally, my third announcement, could I ask our guests today to remain seated until the platform party, our Board of Governors and faculty, and the members of the class of 2012 have left the concert hall. And now, platform party, Board of Governors, faculty, and graduates, please rise.